This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the 8th Annual Precious Metals Summit 2018 in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me right now is Benoit Salle from Algold Resources Ltd, publicly traded company. The symbol is ALG on the TSX Venture. Benoit, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you, Robert. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
It's a pleasure to have you on, and thank you for the great pronunciation. So first things first for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company, and we'll go from there.
Algold is an exploration company for gold. It says it in Africa, where we've been operating for 25 years. I created this company with François Auclair, who's our head geos. 5 years ago, we are in full exploration on a world mining camp, and we are listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange and have been exploring in this country for 5 years.
So you actually touched on my next question just a little bit, but let's get a full wrap on the history of the company. When did it exactly start, and how did you develop to where you're currently at today?
Well, I started a company called Semifo in 1995, grew that to a $3 billion company with mines in production, still producing a lot of gold. And throughout those years, we became the go-to company for West Africa, Francophone Africa. And I went into Mauritania to look at the extensions of the Tasiast mine, which is owned by Kinross, which is a 15 million ounce today project. And we got ground to the south of Tasiast. We're 25 kilometers away, same structure, same belt, same geology. We obtained that ground a couple of years, 5 years ago, started doing some work, acquired more grounds. And today, after years of work and exploration, we have a project where the PEA is completed. We're ready to go to feasibility and to construction in the next 12 to 18 months. It's a beautiful deposit. It's 4 gram per ton, open pit, gravity recovery, a super project, which is just, as I said, south of a very large producer. And you know, to find great assets and great projects, you go beside great assets and great projects.
So, you know, you have some extensive experience in Africa. How does this discovery and this resource compare to some of your previous experience at Semifo, for instance?
It's you know what, it's very similar. When we went into Burkina Faso as Semifo, we were in the top 3 players to ever go into Burkina Faso. We made the discovery of the Houndé Belt, which now hosts 6 or 7 mines, and we were very early in and kind of crafted the whole sector. In Mauritania, Tasiast and Kinross are there, but we're the second player in of substance on the gold side, and we're with them, helping them and with the ministers, crafting the sector for a country that will have many gold mines, because just like in Canada or in the United States, when you have one mine on a structure, you have many mines on that same structure. At Burkina, we discovered the Houndé Belt. Today they have 6, 7 mines on that belt. This Tasiast belt that was discovered by partly François Auclair, who's our partner. François has been in this country for 20 years, and it's a very large Archean green stone belt, and those have many large projects all the time. And we have a 300 square kilometer mining project permits, because that project is fully permitted, our project, and ready to go to production.
So, you know, you have almost 25 years experience now in Africa. You know, prior to that, you know, what was your background? I mean, what brought you to Africa originally?
It's a very interesting thing. I'm a CPA or CA, an accountant, doing a lot of radio and television in Canada, and I was asked to join a board called Foster Parent Plan, or Plan International, helping children and mothers in Africa. Plan spends about $700 million a year in Africa. I went there on a pro bono trip, and one of the president asked me if I could come back and help him develop the sector. We created Semifo, which means West Africa Mining Corporation. Semifo means Société d'Exploration Minière Afrique de l'Ouest. We created Semifo and built 3 mines and employed thousands of people. And that's how it started, from a pro bono trip to Africa to help children.
fell into mining.
Completely fell into mining. And today, our group, my family office, we control 6 mining companies all over Africa, employing thousands of people and developing assets from Mauritania, Guinea, Niger, Burkina, Mali, Ghana, and many other countries where we have gold, base metal, industrial metal, agriculture, and energy.
So from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's value catalysts now moving into 2019?
We're here to talk about Algold. Algold is in the coming months will start another drill campaign, and geology is at the beginning you're kind of blind, and as you're getting closer, you know better, you know the structure, you understand the geology. Today we understand the geology a lot better, so now each drill hole adds ounces, whereas we're not searching, we're developing. And over the next 12 months, we'll be drilling on strike, increasing the ounces. Today, as I mentioned, we're about 700,000 ounces at 4 gram, which is fantastic in Africa, open pit from surface. Our objective is to bring that to over 1 million ounces at 4 gram, and with other deposits that are around that system. And to be ready to go to production as soon as possible.
One thing I know that sometimes our investor audience asks us, especially when they're, we do an interview with a company that has an asset in Africa or any other, unknown geopolitical climate, what would you say to investors that may have a fear of investing in a company that has assets there? How do you allay their fears in terms of a geopolitical risk?
Well, that's a very good question, because that question is often asked, and you have to look at the country, because Africa is 54 countries. Right. So it's like same thing if I telling you I'm coming to United States, it's not the same if I invest in Miami, Detroit, or somewhere else in Nevada. So they have different risk profiles. Some countries have no risk profiles. Others have high risk profiles. So you want to stay away from the high risk profile countries. As an example, we're in Mauritania. Mauritania, Kinross is there with multi-billion-dollar investment. BP just invested $1 billion in oil. First Quantum is there with a copper project. They have a national iron ore company. And if you look historically, the government's been there, stable. And so it's an easy country. And when you look in London at the chart of political risk, that country is green. So there you go. Check, check, check. Easy to go. You go to Guinea-Conakry. Who's there? Well, because Guinea-Conakry produces bauxite. So you look at who's there, and all the big aluminum producers are there. The Americans, the Canadians. So if you have these companies in country, you're okay. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to countries where it's remote, it's more difficult, you have to be really a specialist to invest in those countries, because they're higher risk profile countries. South America is the same. Russia is the same. China is the same. I think what's great about Africa, their mining codes are very, very compelling. Time to construction is quick. Permitting in North America is how many years? 4 to 10. Mm-hmm. Permitting in Africa is 4 to 10 months. Getting special privilege on, building a pipeline. In North America, it'll be 10 years. In Africa, it'll be 10 days. So that's the beauty of Africa. You respect all the rules and regulations, but they want you in production as fast as possible. In Europe, forget Europe. You never build a mine in Europe. It's a lot of countries are getting difficult. Africa is the opposite. They want you, because Africa is North America of 1900. They need mining to develop their energy, to develop their agriculture, their infrastructure, and they understand that. So they will follow you and push you to always, go fast and faster, because they want the revenue from the production.
And where can our audience go and find more information about Algold Resources?
Well, Algold Resources as a website. So if you can go to the website at www.algoldresources.com. It's also on Bloomberg. It has corporate presentation, and it also has a phone number. So if you want to speak to us or to myself, I'm always available because we've built those assets and this company from scratch, and it will be a gold producer in the foreseeable future. And we're always available. And because I was selected to be the president of the Canadian Council on Africa, which is the organization that oversees the relationship between Canada and Africa. I mean, there too, you can get a lot of answer on political risk and political stability.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 8th Annual Precious Metals Summit in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me again has been Benoit Salle from Algold Resources Ltd. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is ALG on the TSX venture. Benoit, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.